Hi, this is Jack from Jack's Wax. This is episode 2 of my podcast. Today we're going to feature Led Zeppelin, one of the greatest rock and roll records ever created. Depending on what you call it, it's Untitled, it's the Zoso, Led Zeppelin 4, the Hermit. They didn't make any name for this. There's no name of Led Zeppelin on the binding. There's no name of them on the back. It's their third album was torched by the press, and the members of Led Zeppelin, Jimmy Page, Robert Plant, John Bonham, John Paul Jones, they got together and were like, you know what? Screw the press, man. Let's not even put our names on here. Let's not call it anything. The reason that people call it the Zoso album is because on the record itself, on the inner sleeve, it says Zoso. This is Jimmy Page's symbol. Each one of the guys made their own symbol, and then you got the list of all the songs on the track on just the inside sleeves, and on the back it's really cool. The greatest rock and roll song of all time, Stairway to Heaven, its lyrics. This is a sweet, sweet album. The artistry on the cover is pretty cool. It looks like a hermit carrying sticks, but when you open it up, it's like an exploded building, because you see the background of of London here, and it looks like a house that got demolished or something, and the only thing standing is this little hanging picture of this hermit. The inside is so sweet. Old man holding a lantern on top of a mountain with the village below. Led Zeppelin really was into Lord of the Rings type stuff, wizards. So this is cool. And when I guess we look at it in a mirror, it looks like an old man's face on the mountain too. Really cool artistry on the album cover. I'm going to play a couple songs here just in the background. First off, I'm going to start with side 2, one of my favorite Zeppelin songs before we get to the greatest song of all time. Misty Mountain Hop is one of my favorite Zeppelin songs. This is pretty much the definitive Led Zeppelin record. I know as these were released, they didn't get much good reception. Rolling Stone magazine hated it, but man, this is they posthumously said we made a mistake. This was 5 stars. It's the second best selling album in the U.S. And it's always on everyone's top albums of rock and roll of all time. Came out in 1971, November 8th, 1971. Really influenced by some hard rock and roll and some blues too. Black Dog and rock and roll are just some hardcore banging out rock songs. The Battle of Evermore, kind of like that Lord of the Rings kind of fantasy stuff. It's very, very a mandolin, very light. And then, of course, let's get to the greatest rock and roll song of all time. I mean, when you think Led Zeppelin, you think Stairway. So I think if you're going to give someone a rock and roll album, you give them the 4th, the Zoso, the Untitled, the Hermit. This 4th album by Led Zeppelin, the Untitled. This is the greatest rock and roll song of all time by the greatest rock and roll band of all time. this just epitomizes rock. So if someone is asking about who's the greatest rock band, you give them Led Zeppelin 4. So that's it for Jack's Wax. Join me next time. What am I going to look at next time? Oh, probably. Let's look at Pink Floyd next. How about that? But I'll leave you with Stairway to Heaven. This is Jack Nolan from Jack's Wax Podcast. Join me next time. We'll look at Pink Floyd, but this has been Led Zeppelin, the 4th album. Jack's Wax signing off. Keep rocking, everyone.